Good evening. Welcome to my channel, Honorary Darkness. Honorary Darkness. This is the number one grinder, one of the best kept secrets on YouTube, the best of the business. We got another chop up tonight. My brother right here. They said, man, he looks familiar. Yeah, he the one created the Beast with Sugar, and I'm the co-owner, and we did a memory of the late great Kurt Sugar. Yes, that's the one and only Stormy B Man, and we're gonna do a chop up with to them. This is my brother, also my LDBC brother that stands for Lions Den Boxing Community, also basketball community. And he gonna ask me questions tonight about me. So let me let the people know now. This is not an interview. It's a chop up. And it's long awaiting, trying to get the brother, because the brother is busy like I am and everything. He just finished, did something with brother Drew Titan. Shout out to brother Drew Titan. So I'm gonna read this out. Come enjoy a real conversation with the number one grinder. Us as the righteous one individually. Let's make a change within ourselves, genuinely being there for each other. We all we got. We all we got. We gotta think about that more than ever. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit y'all with this. You know what, man? I'm gonna hit you with Wu-Tang, and me and Tony B Man, we're gonna get it on. Be back.
Y'all thought y'all wasn't gonna see me? I'm the Osiris of this shit.
Check this out.
Perfect.
Champion, the way of the warrior, champion eyes, get back up, my spirit cries.
But you're a well-rounded warrior. You keep on fighting. That's what I am. Well-rounded warrior. I say for me, I've been passed over my family, my fans, so-called family, some so-called family members, some friends, and etc. Pass over me. They feel that I'm not even there. And I used to accept it as I'm gonna prove something to you. Nah. That I have to understand when I get older is what I am. And I have to understand that when I'm moving of a certain space of my life to strive to do better, not that many people is going to understand your vision. Not many people is refused to understand the growth of your vision, of your self-vision. The growth of your vision help some.
You ain't lying.
All right, welcome back again. Welcome back, y'all. Again, we doing the chop up on the Darkest Roundtable with the one and only brother Stormy B Man. Welcome, my brother. Good evening. How you doing?
Good evening, man. Appreciate you having me here. Salute to everybody that's out there. I'm doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good.
Very, very show tonight. Show was great like tonight. I want y'all. I will post his channel in a few minutes. So he did a show, not did a live not too long ago. I just mentioned with brother Drew Titan. I want y'all to go check it out. And so I want y'all to do that. So we're gonna get into it and everything. How long? Matter of fact, let me ask you a question. How long you been with the our family, the LDBC?
Probably a little over 3 years, 4 years, something like that.
Oh, okay.
Uh, I know it goes back before the pandemic.
Right.
I started my own channel before the pandemic started, so at least a year and a half prior to that, because I was heavily influenced to start my own channel after tuning in for a duration of listening to 78 Sports TV and Black Fight Fans. So I got a little motivation behind that, and found myself doing my channel, my content. So yeah, it's been what? It's been a little over 3-4 years, easily.
That's good. That's good. Where you originally from?
Chicago, Illinois.
Chi-town. Born and raised, huh?
And yeah, all my life, and it's been an interesting experience being here, because being a large city like where
Mm-hmm.
you are, you find that under the auspices that you face on a day-to-day basis, ethnicity
Mm-hmm.
wise, socially, uh,
Mm-hmm.
business wise, educational wise, if you can make it in this type of environment, you can almost make it anywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with that. You have any brothers or sisters or family living and stuff like that?
Actually, I'm an only child.
Oh.
I have parents that are now deceased,
Oh. Sorry
and
about that.
pretty much a person that I had the fortune of embracing what was necessary when it was here.
Uh-huh.
So I don't feel, I won't say alone, because I carry so much of the experiences with me,
Uh-huh.
but I have an appreciation also for what isn't present, because, people can, you know, they can overlook what their blessings are. I haven't overlooked my blessings, but I do understand that at certain periods and times, it's like, wow, you wish, you know what I mean? So
Right,
yeah.
yeah. That's
Mhm.
good. It's all good. So what it's like being the only child?
Well, it's not it's not a thing of like loss, because through my life I have made associations and affiliations and camaraderie important. Friendships are
Mm-hmm.
important to me.
Mm-hmm.
Contacts and dealing with people. That's why I deal with people on the up and up.
Right.
And some people don't value that. Uh, Now, siblings through marriage and stuff like that, I've experienced that, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not totally devoid of those type of contacts and relationships. But again, like I said, I have a certain value that I place. If I refer to you as a friend, that's what I refer to you as. Now, it's up to you to step outside of that and not make it what it once may have been, but that's your choice. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I have a very mature approach to things like that, but it's unfortunate that everyone doesn't share that sentiment.
No. Now in these days they're not.
Yeah.
Now in these days they want. Now, I noticed that you went to you I could say you're a diverse brother. Is it safe to say that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, okay, so
My my
okay, all
onion, my onion has many layers to it, bro. It's like
right.
some days I even amaze myself because it's about what what hasn't been tapped. You know, when when I deal with people, I can deal with people face up, I can deal with people in depth, I can deal with people to greater depths, but it has to be reciprocated. If it's not reciprocated, then it'll be where it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and sometimes that can be mistaken for not caring.
Mm,
But no, it's not that it's not caring, but I don't breach and I don't pry and I don't invade. I
mm,
accept welcomeness.
mm,
If you don't make it welcome, don't worry. I know what boundaries are. I learned that a long time ago.
mm,
And I've carried that in life. Like I said, it's unfortunate that some people don't see that or live that or even understand how to embrace that. But that's
mm.
not my problem. That's theirs.
Yeah, exactly. And also, let me let people know this is a chop up. It's not an interview. So one way or the other, Stormy Beamer will ask questions about me. And I said about within a few minutes, if you want to take questions, usually let me get this out, Stormy Beamer. I ask you how long could you be on it, and I judge by that when's a good time that people can ask questions. So how much you could what you can give us tonight? Because I know you just did a live, so I want to be considerate.
Oh, well, I can go at least hour or a little more. You know,
Okay,
it's not, we're not on limited engagement like that.
okay, got you. Okay,
I made myself available. You know what I'm saying? That's what
I
I'm
got
saying.
that. I
Yeah.
just want to let you know that I'm considered because you do,
Yeah,
me and you do
absolutely.
lives.
Absolutely.
And sometimes people don't know as a con. I'm talking what me and Soy B Man do. We tap in a lot of things. So sometimes we need a break. That's why I'm asking in case people don't know in the chat. That's why I had to ask him that.
Mm.
So I could judge by that because I know for me, I need a break. So, but it's all right. We got it good now. So I said within 30 minutes from now, I'm gonna ask you to put your questions in the chat. Now I have the right. If the question is not in the conversation, not in the chop that me and Story Beat Man in, I'm not answering it. Letting you know right now, I have the right to do that. Okay? All right. So we're gonna get into, like I said, Story Beat will ask me a question in a few minutes about me. That's on, that's how we gonna have it like that. Now, let me ask you a question. Now, I noticed that we're gonna go back to diversity because I think that in the space that we're not talking about LDBC, but we're talking about in the space in this sector, it's not enough diversity, especially us as black men. Why is not enough for diversity of us as black men in this space? Do you think?
Because a lot of black men do not take the liberty of being able to step out on faith and whatever their desire to be a part to be a part of something on an individual basis or whatever. It's like those goals aren't sought and met consistently enough. In other
Mhm.
words, there's a sense of wanting to belong more
Yes.
than there is to break through. If we're gonna break through, let's break through together. If we're gonna achieve something, let's achieve it all together. It's like you need that kind of thing. But I'm of the mindset that if I break through, I'm gonna tell you, hey, I went through here. Come over here and check it out. You understand? It's not like I gotta be with someone in order to get it. The reason I have and adopted that mindset is because, you know, as a mentor and a teacher and someone has worked with people over a duration, I learned about aspects of building a person's character and personality up. You build a person up from within. You give them ethic, you give them value, you give them virtue, you give them a sense of self-worth, value, and esteem. Cultivating, motivating, inspiring, and incentivizing. These are qualities that we don't get in school.
No.
We don't. You know why? Because they don't want you to be that. They want you to follow a system. But we need more people to write systems. You ever see the film The Matrix?
Yes.
And the man who was noted as the architect?
Yes.
Well, the architect wrote all these programs, and there were those who ran the programs and those who followed the programs. There were laws. Laws can be broken, but most under indoctrination either do not understand that laws can be broken because they're too busy following, or those who recognize that the laws and boundaries exist, they either cooperate or they try to break, and there's conflict. So that's the way society is too. So very few who break through and very few who challenge. And then there are a lot who lay down their lives to make sure that the system runs. It's a conundrum, but you first have to understand there's someone who wrote the system to begin with. If you can't acknowledge that, then you will be. And I hate to sound vague and deep at the same time, because there is really no level to that. It's just understanding. Period.
Got you. Let me ask you a question. And like I said, Story B man, I know you got some questions for me because I feel it, I feel the spirit. So I'm just letting you know. I'm just messing with you. Let me ask you a question. What is the funniest thing that you did while you was an adult?
The funniest thing that I've done as an adult? Funniest thing. Haven't really taken any time out to think about that. I don't know if it would be to someone else, but to me, the funniest thing is acknowledging my faults and my mistakes that I have made. And if there has been growth beyond those mistakes, the place I may find myself currently as opposed to when I was making the mistakes. Right. That's kind of funny to me because some situations are similar, some are vastly different, but at the same time, it's like, what were you thinking? You know what I mean? It's like, right. You get to that point, and if you can't laugh at yourself, there you go. And I use that a lot when I'm doing my live streams and stuff, because I can laugh at myself. And people have told me, oh, your laugh is, you make other people laugh when you laugh because your laugh is so hearty and sincere. It's like, yeah, because I roll with it. Just like if I get angry about something, I roll with that. I'm a person that wears the emotion on the sleeve, not because look at me, but because I let go. If it's happiness, I let it go. If it's sadness, I let it go, because I don't hold on to anything too tight, because I never get too high or too low. But I experience it all.
Wow. Yeah. I could tell you like the funniest thing that I did. It was just when I first left New York and moved to Virginia, and I was living with my brother at the time. And my brother, he was my supervisor. And there was this guy, he was like Payne. He was like one of them young boys, one of them young guys trying to be something he's not. And so I went to him and said, "Look, I don't know who you think you clowning. I'm a grown man, Things could happen to you that you cannot take back." And so 2 months later, I left my brother. That's when I got my own place. Now, let me explain people in Virginia is like you got Newport News, and Hampton. They close together. So it's basically like this. There are a lot of streets that run into it and turn to different, names. Stuff. But I just want to let people know. So I moved to Newport News from Hampton, Virginia. And what happened was this was going on, matter of fact, 3 weeks that I've been on my own in Virginia. And he got on the bus. He said, "Hey man, I don't want to put." I said, I ain't got nothing for you, man. I mean, I know what stop he got on. He got off the wrong stop. And he finally, I had to walk like 7-8 blocks. So I'm like, wait. I was laughing. I was like, I didn't make him. And so what happened was he went back to my brother, like he scared me and stuff like that. And he was acting like a little kid. I'm like, bro, I didn't touch him. I was going, matter of fact, I was at work. I was going back home, get me some sleep. Because I know I got to report back work like another 4 hours. And I was on the bus and everything. And it was chuckle. And it was so funny when I came back to the job at 12 o'clock. He act like, "Oh yeah, how you doing?" And he was still afraid, like. But if you were to see, like I'm saying, if you were to see how he did, it would have been funny. I think that's one of the funniest things that I say. If you see like, this is funny, like everything all right. You know what I mean? If I really want to get you, I could have got you. It would have been a problem. That's one of the funniest things. So let's go ahead and stop. I know you into kung fu movies, karate movies. Tell us about that, please.
No, it's just something that I picked up as a kid because my dad was really into movies. My dad was a country guy, and he liked movies. So it started off with films like, gladiator type films and westerns and manly macho stuff, gangster films like with James Cagney and stuff. But when kung fu films got introduced to the US in the early 70s, he really took to that, and he was like, "Let's go see some kung fu." He would bringing me along. I was like 6, 7 years old at the time, and I go to the movies with him, and we'd be sitting there watching these guys punching and kicking and jumping 20 feet in the air and stuff. It was just fun. It was like something different. And from these little Chinese dudes from another part of the world that we didn't know a lot about. And we found it interesting. And I never put that down. It's like, as I began to grow older and the film genre increased and grew, I stuck with it. And it's just something that even after all of this time, through studying and reading up on it as much as I could and everything, it's just become something that was, I embraced.
Got you. What's your favorite sport?
Boxing.
Tell the people why.
At one time, it was basketball, but that was in my younger years and like my teens to my mid 20s and stuff like that. But boxing has always been my favorite, and it was because of Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali, with his personality, the way he handled people, and how he could perform in the boxing ring. It was the first time in life I ever seen someone who was as articulate as he was and could actually put his words and his physical actions together and as an instrument. It was like music watching Ali. And it still resonates with me to this day about how he moved, not just myself, but many people around the world. And I find it an extreme insult when they compare people of modern time to him, who actually are nowhere near where he walked in life. And it's almost like an insult, like to hear someone say that, you know, Tyson Fury is like Ali or something like that. It's like, you know what? Come on, no.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Then we got some people in Bronx Bird. I want y'all to check out Bronx Bird. I did a chop up with him. It's on my channel. Kane Dolphin 89. Thanks for coming. Appreciate that. Shout out to you too. Stormy B Man, Bronx Bird. Shout out to Stormy B Man.
Salute,
Thank you.
salute.
Yeah, yes. Thank you. And
I
like I
see
said,
Watcher and PGH Big Dog out there too. Salute to them as well.
yeah, salute to them. Shout out to the LDBC family. Shout out to the LDBC family. Now, we're approaching the end of the year. And been a lot of things has happened, of our people. And I want to ask you this question: what certain things that our people we need to work on going towards 2023?
What is what now?
What certain things that we need to work more as a people going to 2023?
That's not for me to say. That's not for me to say. The only thing that I could say is what I need to work towards going into 2023, because I can only lead by example. So as I walk, so as I talk, so as I set the example and precedent for any observer that finds a good thing in any of that may find themselves, in similar likeness, and they could say, well, I can vibe with that. I can get down with that. You know what I mean? But always understand that I'm looking to take care and not be a destructive element in this society, but I'm looking to build in this society. I can only do that through example, leading by example. Now, when it comes to many and masses, I can't speak for many and masses. There's too much backlash and resistance because some people don't respect or acknowledge authority. So if you have those who don't respect and acknowledge authority, it's very difficult to have a construct and a plan and expect people to buy in. You see?
Got it.
So if I'm handling my business, somebody can look at me and say, "Oh, he's handling his business." Well, how have you been successful like that? What happens there? Then I could say, well, we could have a conversation, but also understand, if you're good at something, never do it for free.
That's the way to look at it. I appreciate that. Now, You said your first sport you love is basketball. Who was your favorite player in your team?
No, I said I used to love
Used to. I'm talking about used to.
basketball,
Right. Used
but
to. All right.
but my first love always has been boxing. But there was a time that I really liked basketball, and that kind of went. It parlayed. Here in Chicago, we had DePaul University,
Mm-hmm.
and Ray Meyer, who was the coach of DePaul when I was growing up as a kid, and later his son Joey Meyer took over, but that was a different era. But when Ray Meyer coached, and he had guys who were stars like Mark Aguirre and those
Mm-hmm.
guys, it's like basketball was so fun then, and I was
Mm-hmm.
young and everything. It was like it was so fun. Um, Isaiah Thomas coming out of Chicago, playing for St. Joseph High School. Those guys were all just a few years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was around and my interest was there when Michael Jordan got drafted by the Chicago Bulls. And it was like, that was like God blessing this city, because not only did they bless the city with a great basketball player, but the way his career ended up going and the trajectory and success of the franchise and everything like that, it was just a great time to
Mm-hmm.
be a fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was kind of similar with the NFL with the Bears, but they didn't have the same type of vested interest. And Mike Ditka blew it because he thought he was bigger than everything else. And
Yeah.
that was a shame, because with the talent that he had when he inherited the team that he did, there
Mm-hmm.
was about a 5 to 6 year span where they could have really been great for a while, and they only managed one Super Bowl out of all of that, and they tanked because of him primarily, and it's a shame.
Wow. That's that. You know what? I was thinking about when I first met you a few years ago. I want to ask you, about Chicago Bears and stuff, the way how things went down and stuff. Because I remember I seen that '85 team, one of the best teams ever in my book in the NFL, and they remind me of the New York Mets back in the mid '80s when they won the championship, when they won the World Series in '86, and all the talent they had. They like Chicago. They could have ran it, but it was jealousy, like you were saying.
They could have had 3 Super Bowls within that years of spans that I mentioned. I said
Mm-hmm.
they were competitive at that, degree of uh eliteness, if you want to call it that,
Mm-hmm.
but the window passed them by due to the problems that they had. Mike Dicker, I don't know. I liken his success with the Bears to a person that took their first hit of crack. And that first high, it is told that a person gets from crack, it's like they they spend the rest of their time trying to achieve that first high. That's what
Mm-hmm.
I've been told. I've never tried it, and I don't never intend to. But what I'm saying is, when Dicker received that success, his ego was so inflated that he
Mm-hmm.
couldn't see any wrongdoing. He couldn't see reason. He couldn't see, and it's like it just consumed until finally the organization was like, we got to get rid of this guy. And that's a shame, because do you remember the legend of Jim McMahon, the quarterback?
Yeah.
There was a night that he played a Monday night football game or a Thursday night football game. I forget, my memory's getting older now, but he was injured and had been out a couple of games. And they were playing the Minnesota Vikings.
Mm.
And he was at a point where he was ready to come back. He was like, I'm good. I can go. But Mike Dicker started Steve Fuller, and Fuller was having an awful game. And McMahon kept walking over by Dicker saying, "Put me in. I can go. I'm ready. I can get this. I can, pull us out of this crap or whatever." And Dicker kept telling McMahon, "Go sit your butt down somewhere, this and that, blah, blah, blah." And he was trying to send a message to the team to, like, get behind Steve Fuller because Jim McMahon is an asshole. You know what I mean? But Jim McMahon was the starting quarterback. Well, they were down several touchdowns, and finally Dicker relented and put Jim McMahon in. And on the first play, under snap, he dropped back for a pass. He stumbled over his lineman's foot. He almost fell down and took a sack. But the first play, he throws a touchdown pass to either Dennis McKinnon or Willie Gault, one of them. First play, boom, throws a touchdown pass. Boom, they hit this. Then on their next possession, he comes out. He makes another great play, throws a bomb, touchdown, boom. Now the Bears are on the road. They're coming back. The Bears ended up defeating Minnesota that night after spending the first half of the game basically tanking out. And Mike Dicker was so angry with Jim McMahon. His ego wouldn't say, "Congratulations, Jim. Great game. You pulled it out for us." He was like mad that McMahon was better than Steve Fuller. And he was trying to prove a point by playing Steve Fuller instead of McMahon. It was like, that was the type of ego that Mike Dicker had, where you wouldn't see that from someone like, the coach of the Patriots, or even Bill Parcells, who coached New York. And it was the difference. And McMahon was the guy. But Mike Dicker and McMahon would fight and stuff. He'd call a stupid running play for Walter Payton when the guys are lined up in the box and Payton ain't going to go nowhere. And he'd get mad at McMahon for calling the audible and throwing the ball down the field for 25-yard pickup. "I told you to call the running play. You call the damn running play." And, McMahon was like, the box was stacked. Walter wouldn't have got 2 yards. You understand?
Right.
But that was who he was. And that's why only won Super Bowl, because they were so good the year that they won the Super Bowl that even Dicker with his flaws couldn't prevent it from happening. But to show you how ignorant he was, he never gave the ball to Walter Payton near the goal line in the Super Bowl.
It sure did. That's right. Yeah.
That shows you how ignorant he was. He gave the ball to William Perry 2 or 3 times, but didn't give it to Walter Payton, the greatest running back in the history of the NFL. What the hell are you doing, Mike Dicker? You see what I'm saying? Right. And then he had the nerve to say afterwards, "Oh, I really didn't think about it." And then many years later, he said things like, "Oh, I didn't really realize it meant that much to him." Walter Payton was the Bears before Dicker got there.
Right.
He inherited that success. He didn't make that success.
I remember I seen some of it, I was like shaking my head. Like, I remember I watched the Super Bowl and said, "Dicker, you mean why you give it to Perry instead of..." Yeah. That's something though. But like I said, any questions you want to ask about me, feel free. It's a chop up and it doesn't make a difference. Whatever question you want to ask.
What was it for you that motivated you to start producing content?
That's a good question. Well, back in, I say, end of 2013, with this guy that grew up in New York. You say, you're a content creator, right? No. Yes, you are. You when you got your Google account, I said back maybe 2009, you're a content creator. I said, "No, I'm not." Okay, you got a YouTube account? I said, yeah, but I got 700 something movie 700 music video. He said scratch all that or start. And that was like I said like in 2013. And it took me like 4 days to get all them channels out. And I start doing this. Then I start the first name is the same channel, y'all, but JT Black this. And the very first one live I did is about my late father's Freddie Oliver. He was one of the few black men that fought in World War One, also in the Spanish War. Not them. And I'm talking about he had like they said his uniform was like full of medals, like a decorate like a Christmas tree. Unique Dawn, thank you. And one time they saying that he was trying to talk to a white woman. Couldn't find it was a lie. So they found him. In the next few nights after got hung on he got hung while he was in this uniform over a lie. So that was my very first story that I did on this channel. Y'all gotta go way back. This was way back in the archives. So and then I start, pushing content. I had a little setback here and there, but got back, started putting some stuff, put some content out there. And as you know, something happened to my channel, and then that was the number one grinder, Real Talk. That's my secondary channel. And then I got this channel back, I said maybe like 4 or 5 months ago. Not back doing it again. So that's basically
What do you hope to achieve with your channel? This channel in particular, because it means a lot to you. So what do you hope to achieve with this channel?
what I hope to achieve is to help people, and I want to build an enterprise come from this and to span out through different ventures. God's willing, next year I hope I have my merch out, and also to do other things. So I got big plans for me and everything. As young people know that I'm traveling with the Miss and do certain stuff. I want to put myself out there as much as I can to do different things that I wasn't luxury to do when I had my secondary channel. So I want to I want to make it more diverse as I can. I want to reach out to other people, collaborate to different people. But at the same time, as you know, Brother STORMYBMAN, as being a content creator, you got to handpick people. You cannot let anybody, to come on this. So I know you asked me a question 2 months ago when I do back boxing. Underrated Boxing Talk will come back soon. I don't know how soon it is, but that will come back. I'll bring that back. And I'm going to have collaborations, especially with STORMYBMAN and so others. So I want to tap into other ventures, but there are certain things that I push back that I will push forward next year. It's not going to be this year. So I want to take my I'm saying not it ain't all about me. The Underrated One family, we want to take it to the next level, and then we gonna do some great things together. We're gonna do some great things together.
Okay, now I'm gonna tell you something. My nickname that they refer to me. You know what that is, right?
So that's
yeah. Say it.
Sissy.
Okay. Now I'm gonna share something with you. I asked you a specific question. You didn't answer it. So I'm going to ask you one more time, because you were all over the place, but you didn't answer the question. What do you hope to achieve with this channel? You've got it back now. What do you hope to achieve? Because if you can focus on the goal that you have, it's attainable. It can happen. But if you're here and if you're there and you're there, where might you truly end up? But in space. And I say that to you because I'm going to reflect on something that you asked me earlier when you said, what do I think, our people need to do going into 2023? And my response to you was, I can't speak for them. I can speak for me. You see how I narrowed that down? And I gave you me because if I believe in what I do, which is leading by example, then that alone can motivate other people to be like mine. They don't have to imitate. They don't have to copy, but it can inspire in a way that's like specifically, maybe I can do something. So that's why I asked you that. And I'm trying to assist. Don't think anything negative about what I'm saying to you, because it is as positive as it could be. What do you want to achieve? Even if you said, I would like to achieve 1,500 more people in support of my channel a year from now, that's a single-minded goal that is attainable. And there are people that can catch that train and be a part of the process because it's been simplified, you see. And that's just an example. But that's what I wanted to get from you when I asked that question. One thing about me, I'm never fake with it at all. So when I ask with purpose, and I can explain why I ask or what I'm asking or whatever. There are some people, they're not necessarily genuine, but they can try to make themselves sound genuine or whatever. But I can always put that.
Well, let me put this out there then. I feel that I did answer the question. I just want to keep on reaching to the masses. That's it.
Okay. But see, that's even more simplified, because if you're going to keep reaching to the masses, one of the things that you can do, like you said, collaborating, but in order to reach the masses, you have to have a path. You have to have an arrow that you're shooting toward that target. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned something about merch. You mentioned something about more collaborations. All of that can fall under the umbrella, but the direction and the aim. Because see, it's just like, remember when I asked you to be a part of the Beats with Sugar because you and Kurt started that out? I did that specifically because you were originally a part of the process and everything that was going into that, because Kurt and I, we created that concept, and he said, hey, Underrated knows his music. I want him to be a part of this with me. I said, okay, great. And you guys did that one show. And I told Kurt at the time, after the show, I said, that first show, if you remember back, you guys, for about an hour and a half, y'all talked music, but y'all were all over the place in the show. Y'all was talking about this, y'all was talking about that, this and that. And I was like, Kurt, you know what? Going into the future episodes of the show, you might want to rein that in. Talk about a specific thing, an artist, you know, their work, their body of work, whatever, the songs. And I said, you'll have a library of things ahead of you because you'll have more and more content to cover. And he was like, yeah, that's a good idea. He's like, because I was kind of all over the place, right? I was like, yeah, you see? And that's why, like, what we're doing, just like we did the show the other night, you know, Elton John. And Elton John got such an anthology of work. It's like one show is not good enough for that artist. And we intend to come back with several more to cover what he's done. But see, that's the whole point. That phrase, the whole enchilada, that's what we want. That's what I want to see from you, the whole enchilada. But I understand in order to get it, we have to have a starting point. That's why I'm here. That's my purpose, man. And that's what I do for people. It's just you got to be tuned in. If you ain't tuned in, then you can't get that. And as I've said on many occasions, everybody ain't going to make it. The message is for who is for. And I can't worry about who don't get it, but I got to worry about getting it out.
I know, but me, this why you gotta understand, bro. This is who I am.
No. There's
let
nothing wrong with who you are.
Right. Let me explain myself here. I gotta explain this. That sometimes I could be direct, but sometimes it seems like I'm here and there. But I will get the point. But trust me, my path is very, very clear because I do see a need that there are some people that need to be helped, they need to be assisted, and I want to put myself out there to help them.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever path it is, that's just what it is. That's what it is. But let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. You got more questions to ask me? You can't. Oh, well, you was saying something. Sorry.
No. I was saying yes. I agree. You know, my next question for you is similar to something you asked me when you talk about sports. What would you say your favorite sport or your first love when it comes to sports or whatever?
Basketball. Always will, always be.
And why?
Basketball to me is a thinking sport. It's all about angles. It's all about how you beat defense, how you score. Read the fundamentals of it. The work your body into it. The dedication. The coaching. That's what I like the old timers. Like back in the days, I loved the place because it was all about fundamentals. And I could talk. I could talk. This is like the same thing. I could analyze boxing. I can analyze basketball very well. So basketball always my favorite sport.
What do you think is the major problem with basketball today? And when you say your love, is it for professional basketball or college basketball or both?
All.
What do you think is the number one drawback in the sport today? What is missing? What makes the sport is not hitting the heights that it once hit?
Fundamentals.
1000% spot on. I agree. And I think that one of the problems that led to that, I'll let you answer. What do you think? One of the problems that led to that?
Not enough dedication and the money.
I think is taking young personalities that were too young and immature and putting them in positions where they weren't able to thrive because they didn't have what was needed.
Yeah.
Even when you talk about college basketball, a lot of guys were going to college and they go for a short period of time and then try to go pro. Um, getting some semblance of education in college, because we know that all of these guys are not classroom friendly. Okay. But to be there on campus, to travel to different universities to play games, to meet various coaching staff, to not miss out on the cultivation and relationships because they're important. You're away from home and you're learning from people and you're learning with people who are not necessarily family, but they become like family through your process of maturing. And that's kind of missing now. And it's been displaced by money. Money cannot be my friend. Money cannot assist me and build my character. Money cannot raise the level of my intelligence. The only thing money can afford me is comfortability in the material. And sometimes material, we can be gluttonous with that, right? But you realize that less is more sometimes. You might need a bed to sleep on, a cover to cover yourself, and a pillow to put your head on. Huh? And that can be afforded in a bit of a space carved out for you, right? But when you have money, you have access. A bed that is far too big, that means that you got to get somebody to get in there with you, right? Now, the covers, oh, you want to impress, huh? The pillows, they got to be satin now. You see where I'm going with that? It's like, think about it. To get back to what's important, it's not going to be easy, but it can be done. But you also have to have people that are key in making decisions to acknowledge that as well. And it's kind of hard when they're thinking dollar signs first. Integrity is the most expensive thing. And how many people hold fast to that? Not many. They give it up.
That's true. And also, the one thing that's really missing of different positions of basketball is camps. And these camps, like they was very, they're not just for fundamentals, but they help you doing your schoolwork. Are you doing good in class? Sometimes they go and make sure that the relationship with the parents is there. They keep you out of trouble. Um, and so while those resources was gone, and the other stuff that you were saying, it was a definite decline. And so now you got a lot of lost people that deal with other lost people. It's all about robbing and stealing. And and the thing about this that people say, oh, what about the fundamentals? Yeah, we are talking fundamentals, but what about the fundamentals in life? Are you preparing yourself? Because you know, come on, the average person that played in the NBA is 5, 6 years. What happened? What happened? You know, you get hurt. Do you got a college degree? Do you have anything that you could hold for yourself or provide for your family? And that's what I had a great appreciation of older players back then, because back then we talking about the 50s and the 60s. A lot of them had they played, but they had jobs. A lot of them had went to college, so when they finished their NBA career, they had a degree, and they still provide for the family and have a career. And those conversations right now they don't want to have. But it does happen. So
Mm-hmm.
they don't
Yep.
want to have those conversations. They don't want to have the conversations, and it's sad though because as especially us as black men, we see our men is failing. They fail and they failing a lot, and they don't have a social content that they should. They don't understand what things was going on because they all about the money and the family. You got the family right here, right here. Oh, you help us out, so you gotta put. So they got to buy the house here, buy the, but what about for himself? And so he ended up being dry, and
Right.
so and it's in the college game, it's really suffering because you got kids right now. They promise hey, you go 1 year, right now, as people they hear me, you go to the G League. But what about your education? What about things that you like to do? But they're always just thinking about play. I just want to play. It could be any sport. I just want to dedicate my sport like this. But when that thing finally crashed, they don't have nothing. A lot of turn on drugs, they commit suicide or other things has happened because everybody has took it from him and her.
Yeah. So, when it comes down to what's really lacking in the sport, I imagine for someone where that sport is their love, like yourself,
Mm-hmm.
it's gotta hurt, with what's missing. It's a shame. It's like you can long for the old days, but not because you're an older person that just looks fondly upon what once was, but it's like you can see, like you said, the fundamentals of what's missing. It's like, you know, and I don't really watch the NBA anymore. I gave it up about, I want to say it was about 7 years ago now. That's how long ago I stopped watching the NBA.
Mm.
But I had a game on recently, just flipping through TV channels. I don't even remember who was playing, but saw a guy grab a rebound and they started running the other way with the ball in possession. He made one pass to a guy that stopped at the 3-point line and shot the ball. Now, everybody wasn't even down court yet. There was nobody under the basket to get the rebound. The ball careened off of the rim, kind of backward trajectory. The guy from the opposing team got the ball, turned around, passed it to a guy who hadn't made it up to midcourt yet, gave it to him. He drove it to the basket for a layup. Now, in just that sequence, I saw so many things that just was not a part of the game that I remember. First of all, how are you taking a 3-point shot? Everybody ain't up the court yet. Your rest of your team, nobody's in position to get a rebound or anything. And you just got a green light to pull up like that? Second of all, nobody was even in position to get back on defense for the other team. And the guy who ended up making the layup, that was by default because he was slowly running up the court. You know what I mean? Even though he wasn't quickly running back to get back on cover on defense. It's like there were so many things wrong on both ends. And he ended up scoring a basket, but people might be like, yeah, he did it. But it's like, dude, if I was his coach, I'd been like, you should have been down anyway. But I can't watch it now. I can't watch that because that's not a part of what I remember. And people could say, well, it's culture change now or whatever. I heard that they wanted to make a further 3-point line or something,
Yes.
and
It's
it
in
got
talk.
shot down, right? They shot that down, right? No, what it is gonna be?
In the near future, it is. They could say it's not going to happen, but it is. Because you got sponsors now in the
That's just
NBA.
gonna make it worse.
And then because you got sponsors now, yeah, I said about a decade and a half ago, they said they need more. They need more points because they feel that it's boring in the NBA that is playing and stuff. But if anybody that knows sports, it's all about fundamentals. You can
Dude,
have
that
the
is not
skill.
gonna help the game. Putting another 3-point line, that's not gonna help the game.
No, it's not. And
What-
so
They may as well just cancel the thing professionally and just have people play video games. Just like, virtual. I don't know. It's just crazy.
never said one last thing. We're gonna continue. And the sad thing about it, you got guys that safely bringing up the ball, but they asking the guard to pull. They asking the guard post the guy up that is 6 or 7 feet tall. That's basketball, y'all. Y'all don't believe me. Y'all go watch for yourself. It's real sad. It's real sad. So welcome, Jared. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Welcome. Anybody that wants to ask questions in the chat, feel free. If you just come in, you just gotta listen to more and ask some questions. Now, get back to boxing. Besides Muhammad Ali, what's your favorite rivalry in boxing?
My favorite rivalry?
Rivalry, yes.
Wow. I liked the Holyfield Bowl trilogy. That was a great rivalry in boxing. I really loved Marco Antonio Barrera and Eric Morales. Man, those two guys, they fought like somebody did something to the other's mom. They were something else, man. And I heard the story was their rivalry had nothing to do with boxing. It was about a soccer game that the families were having or something, and they got angry at each other and started fighting at a soccer game. And it spilled over into the ring in their professional careers. I don't know how true that is. It would take a Latin person who knows more about them in depth. But I thought that was a great rivalry. Another rivalry that I liked was I want to say let me think about that for a moment. I liked, of course, the thing that went on between the 5 kings. People call them the 4 kings, but I call them the 5 because they often leave out Wilfredo Benitez, who was a tremendous fighter. But Benitez, Duran, Hearn, Leonard, and Hagler, those men were all awesome. The rivalries that they had amongst one another, and the only two who never fought out of that rivalry was Hagler and Benitez, believe it or not. Everyone else did fight each other. So it's like, that's a tremendous thing. And when you think about that, Wilfredo Benitez won the welterweight championship at the age of 16.
16, right.
And he fought all of those guys with the exception of Hagler. And he did fight at junior middleweight. So he was almost there. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but that was a tremendous time because all of those men were highly skilled. You talk about fundamentals in basketball. they were fundamentally profound and proficient in boxing, all of them,
Right.
in their own way. There was not a better boxer than Tommy Hearns. There was not a better boxer, mover, and defensive guy than Wilfredo Benitez. There was not a more rugged, dirty, determined, gritty, and defensively responsible guy than Duran. And Sugar Ray Leonard was the golden boy of his era. He could do it all. He had the flash, he had the pizzazz, he had the charisma, he had the fanfare and everything. And he fought a little bit like Ali, you know. And then you had Hagler, who was the workman-like blue-collar guy who wore war on his hat and just was, that bald head was menacing and intimidating. And he never came into a fight out of shape. A guy who could fight southpaw and orthodox. I mean, what more could you ask for out of those guys? So that when you talk about rivalry, you can't think about anything outside of that.
You know what? And we're going to talk about. I want to talk about Hearns because, but I'm gonna ask. But somebody asked you these two questions. She said, "Do you prefer watching boxing or MMA?" That's from Coco T in the chat.
My interest in MMA is absolute zero. Absolute zero. I don't care who's fighting. I don't care how exciting it might be to other people or whatever. Boxing is it for me. I have no interest whatsoever in MMA. I wish Clarissa Shields wouldn't touch MMA, but I can't tell her what to do. But I'm not interested in MMA.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Coco Tina, I do MMA, but I haven't done it in a while because things. So, but then the second question: what do you think? Saying from Coco Tina, she said, "What do you think about these up and coming boxers?"
I think they got a tough road ahead of them with all of the present day guys who are so tissue soft that they don't want to challenge themselves and put themselves to task to become the best that they could be. They're more regulated to trying to earn huge purses without risking anything on the line. They don't care about legacy. They don't even care about the technical aspect of boxing because a lot of them haven't studied up on the sport and haven't tooled up in the gym. So the up and coming guys have a road of despair and deception before them, because if you happen to defeat one of the guys that are so-called at the top today, are you really beating a real good fighter? It's hard to say. And but there are guys who are coming up that could change this out of being ambitious and having desire of their own, you see. And they could exceed these present guys because the present guys haven't shot for anything. That's why when you see a guy like Devin Haney, he's an anomaly because he wants to challenge himself. He wants to be the best. He wants to try this. He wants to try that. And there were guys running from him and everything. It's like, it was ridiculous watching that. And then you have someone like Shakur who's moving up from a lighter weight to where Devin is presently. And he's got the same mindset as Devin, but they're going to be running from Shakur. It's like Pitbull Cruz has already said he don't want to fight him. It's like, are you kidding me? It's like, dude.
Whoa. I didn't cut you off, Stormy. Repeat that. Am I hearing you right?
Yes. Shakur moved up to 130 to 135.
Right.
And the WBC was trying to mandate that Pitbull Cruz fight Shakur, and Pitbull Cruz has refused it. He don't want to fight Shakur. He and his dad have already said they don't want to fight Shakur, and Shakur is coming up from a lower weight, and they're running from the guy. It's like, it don't make sense. They've been talking about it for the past 2 weeks. I'm surprised you haven't heard about that.
I did hear a little of it.
Yeah.
What happened? I'm gonna tell you what happened.
Shakur has actually come out on Instagram and everything, embarrassing the guy. He calls him Poodle the poodle because he don't.
Now let me tell you what happened. Right, I did heard about it, but I'm gonna tell. I don't want to bring it up, but I'm gonna bring it up this time. I heard about it, but what happened was they talked back to, you know what happened. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That I wasn't interested in that. I was interested in Shakur, but they went back to, and I just left.
Yeah. And see, that's what I'm talking about. It's like there are guys out here who want to do something. Devin Haney, Shakur, even now Regis. I am so proud of him. I got a video coming out about him on Wednesday morning. Regis, you know, he was once a champion at 140. And he lost that belt to Josh Taylor when they fought in the tournament.
Right.
And that's how Taylor became undisputed, by defeating Regis. But many people felt like Regis really won the fight, but regionally, the judges favored Taylor. He got the decision, so be it. Now, Taylor has been stripped of several belts because, you know, he's not meeting the mandatory requirements and this and that, and he's looking to face Catterall in a rematch and so forth and whatever. But Regis won this belt this past weekend against Jose Zepeda, who's a very good fighter, and they fought a very good match. It's the kind of fight that you want to see when you're talking championship contention. And it's a shame that one guy had to lose, but I'm proud of Regis because he seems to be one fighter similar to Jermell Charlo in the sense that he took a loss and turned it into something positive for himself. He's kind of reinvented his personality and how he deals with the public and the media. He has taken the necessary steps in evaluating his skill set and what he can accomplish in the sport, hired a nutritionist so that he can make the weight. He says he no longer wants to move up to welterweight. He says he wants to reign at junior welterweight like Marvin Hagler reigned at middleweight. He said that nutritionists can help him retire at 140 without having to move up. I love that. See, that's someone with a plan. That's someone with ambition. He's looking to get something specific done at the weight, and you have to respect that. Not hop all over the place. Let me move up because the competition is getting a little stiff here. No, he's ready. He wants to be the man at 140. And I'll tell you, if he stays there, there are plenty of fights for him. Don't forget, Teofimo is there. And Teofimo ran away from 135 because he didn't want to fight Haney.
There you go.
All of that. He ran away and he done jumped. And Drew Titan and I were laughing about this because we said he done jumped from the frying pan into the fire because he's at 140 and there are some blood suckers at 140 that's waiting for him. You know,
he thought he was gonna get away, and you ain't going over. You might as well stay. Where are you going? It's like you in the. You know what I'm saying? You in the middle. Where you gonna go? When you leave 135, you go 140. You don't think 140 don't have no killers?
They're there, man. Sharpening up their knives and everything. They're just napping around the neck like in the old cartoons.
That's what I'm saying. But I got your questions, Coco Tina and Big Homie. I'm gonna ask those questions in a few. But I want to ask you this, bro. Right? I know when you talk about Hearns, I'm gonna tell you, Hearns is my, besides Muhammad Ali, that I call him the icon for me. As I'm talking about, as a man, as a black man, when he stood for that, he's an icon.
Yes.
Rushmore, whatever they call it, boxing. For me, he's a standard. But you said Hearns was a boxer, and I agree with you on that. But you know, while I was talking about boxing, And if people actually got in arguments with me, why do you say Hearns? He's a boy. I said, y'all never see Hearns really box, right? Hearns can box. I'm saying y'all don't know. So that
A
means y'all never
master
really
boxer,
master boxer. Yeah, that
for
means y'all
Hearns.
never really know about the late great Manuel Stewart. Oh, I didn't know. Yeah, I'm not. I said, do you know this man that he could have won 7 different weight classes if he would not get hurt? I said, people understand what I'm saying. And in every weight class, he still was knocking people out, but he was knocking people out with a left hand, knocking people with hooks. He always improvised himself, and that so much impresses on me because, as you know, when a boxer they feel a certain way, they not gonna change. But he always reinvent himself, and I'm gonna be looking like slipped it, punches, defense. I remember he hit somebody. I remember this guy trying to swing. He knocked this guy. I think it was a light heavyweight or a super middleweight, something like that. He knocked out with a wicked, timely left hook. I like, because everybody knew her as a straight right, and now the count and stuff. But that impressed me of hers that to this day he don't get the credit that he deserved. And he was one of the few people was not afraid to for Hagler.
Yeah. Yeah, Tommy was something, man. He really was.
Yeah. And ask me why people don't give him credit that he deserved.
You know why I think, and it will probably be different in today's era, because for as great a fighter he was, courageous, powerful, his vulnerability was not appreciated. Because Hearns, he got knocked out a couple of times. He got stopped. And that does something to the public. They don't respect you as much, at least during his era. Now it's kind of different. If you get knocked out, they want to, build a monument for you and stuff like that. It's like it, and I'm not saying that it was wrong during his era. It's just that for as great as he was in all the areas that he was, his vulnerabilities were his Achilles that made people not necessarily appreciate him, But his opponents appreciated him. Marvin Hagler loved Tommy Hearns. He hated Sugar Ray Leonard, but he loved Tommy Hearns.
You know what? I want you to hold that thought because we want to talk about that. Because I always want to ask you to talk about that. We're going to get these 2 questions up. We're going to go back into it because I think that a lot of people they refuse to talk about that. But the first question, Coco Tina, I'm going to get you the big homie too. She said, now you stated that you are an educator. What suggestions or advice that you can give to help encourage our youth, especially those who are training for boxing?
The advice that I would like to give youth of today, first and foremost, is to open their minds to listening. It's very important that you listen and absorb as much as you can when it comes down to the principles of building your personal character. Because a person of sound character can compete with life's difficulties in and outside of the ring. That doesn't mean that you will go undefeated, because no one is undefeated in life. We all suffer setbacks in life. But if I have given you keys to help you build yourself as a human being, you will be more advantageous to society than if I did not give you that. So a person of sound character and substance and who has cultivated talent has something very much positive to offer the world. Huh? So that's important, first and foremost, because anybody, and I've talked about this, can be taught to ball their fist up and punch another person. But not everybody can be taught how to think with their mind of how to solve or resolve issues, conflict resolution. Why should I make a move as opposed to why should I not act? It's important. You see people losing their lives on a daily basis for lack of discipline and lack of knowledge. It begins there. If you can't have that bit, then you don't need to be participating in a sport. You don't need to be doing anything outside of working on those ethics first. It's a reason why parents used to discipline and say, no dessert for you. No outside playing, no doing this, no doing that, because they were trying to give you a barrier. If you don't respect this, you cannot get that which you really like or love or want to do. There are restrictions. If you go out here and break the law, where do they put you? In jail, right? So do you want the lessons early or do you want them late? If you get them late, sometimes it's too late because you're behind that thing they call the metal gate, huh? And if you don't get it then, you will find yourself behind something else, and that's called the pine box, huh? And when you're late in that aspect, it means deceased. Yeah.
Expiration over. Yeah. Big homie said, he gives a question. Said, "Do you think Taylor will rematch Progress?"
Probably not, because he's had his eye on 147, but I'm gonna tell you, he might want to get himself a nutritionist too, because there's some killers at 147.
A lot.
He don't want, listen, if he had trouble with Jack Catterall and Regis Prograis at 140, dude, the blades only get sharper at 147.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying from 130 to 147. Where you gonna go?
Listen, you got Boots, you got Stanionis, you got all these guys. You know, there's a ton of guys, a handful, at least 5 to 6 guys that are waiting with their knives and blades and their napkins around their neck. Yeah, Josh, come on up here. They waiting on him. I'm telling you. So he would be wise to hang around and try to play around with Prograis again, huh? They could have a trilogy, but you going up there to that higher weight,
No,
they're gonna show him exactly what it means to be a big boy.
nah, I don't think that. Yeah, I know, no. If I would talk to him, I said, "Listen, you stay at 140. Don't know that. That's that. You go 147. That's a different league. That no, that's no. I think no. Uh, that'd be wise. Big homie said that would be wise for Taylor. Big homie, that'd be wise.
That's right.
It is.
That's right, man. You know, I tell it like it is. What I say may not be popular, but at the same time, there's a tremendous amount of sense to what I say. I just put it out there, bro.
I don't. That's what I'm saying. That when I bring back the underrated Boston talk, we got. I'm gonna bring you back because I want to have these conversations because I tell people they ask me the same question. I said no, please don't say 147. Then stay 140. But he no. I said so. Do you want to? You want to fight? You want to fight Boots
Who?
Taylor?
It'll be his funeral.
I said, yo, you're asking him. Y'all, that's what I'm saying. Y'all asking him Taylor to go to 147 to fight Boots, right?
Yeah, because Boots is the future. As soon as Spence is done with whatever's going to be out of his career at 147, because he's going to move up, Boots taking over, man. I don't care what they say about Ortiz and all them other dudes.
Boots taking over.
He's taking over. And he ain't going to be there that long because he's a big guy. So he'll be moving on up too.
By another year and a half, he's going to move up too. He's still young.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people don't understand. I said, y'all don't understand. Boots is still young. He's not going to be in the welterweight all that long. I said by another year and a half, he had to move up.
His dad says he could envision him being at 168 when it's all said and done. And I don't doubt that. I don't doubt it.
I don't doubt it at all. Big homie said 147 is another type of beast. No, I'm just saying I'm not, I'm not going to talk about that person in 147. I'm not going to talk about, but I'm just saying this. But like he said, Boots is the future, y'all. He is. People can say all they want to. Now, what do you think about Brother Charlo won the undisputed?
Man, let me tell you, Maul Charlo is dealing with some domestic issues, and you can tell that they're taking their toll on him. Mm-hmm. He don't need to be near the boxing ring at this time. Even if he needs to renounce the title that he's had for so many years or whatever, he needs to get his personal life on track. Out there trying to make fights or talk about he want to fight with somebody, and he ain't even fighting in his own, division and stuff. It's like, it's not a good look right now. And I said this a while back, and I hate to be right about it, but I said that there was going to be a huge divide between he and his brother, because his brother has a different sense of the world and what he wants out of it. And I think that Maul is having problems with separation, sibling separation. I think he's having problems with that. And money don't solve these things. It goes back to what I said about character and the development of an individual. If a person hasn't experienced the true lessons and education that they need in that aspect, the money and everything is only a temporary thing that you can enjoy. Then the real issues that you have will surface. And then conflict resolution becomes a problem because you don't know how to solve your problems. You may need professional help. And that's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people, but I'm being very realistic when I say these things.
Got you. And I heard of somebody. I think they need to get himself together. Boxing's not going nowhere. Now, what you think about his brother?
Mel is the best. Mel is the best fighter in the world right now to me. Mel Charlo is the best. I'll tell you why. He is the one guy in the present state of champions that has had success. He suffered a setback and loss. He came back from the loss and became champ again. Then he suffered a draw and came back from that and was champ again. And through both of his setbacks, he avenged them through knocking the other guy out. The most decisive way to show that you are back. You understand? And then you top that with what I've said on numerous occasions, the fact that he has won with every punch that you can throw in the sport. He's knocked people out with a jab. He's knocked them out with a left
Yeah.
hook. He's knocked them out with a right cross. He's knocked them out with uppercuts. He has won early and he has won in the later rounds. He's won in the middle rounds. He is the most complete champion in the sport of boxing today and accomplished, and he's undisputed. That's a tough cookie to crack right there, brother.
Yeah, and I think that when they made the list for best pound for pound, somebody asked you like, "Oh, who do you think?" They said, "Do you think any heavyweight should be in a pound for pound?" No, no heavyweight no pound for pound. I don't know. I said, yeah, y'all need to do your history. I said, if you think about best pound for pound, I'm saying like this. Oh, it's got to be Charlo and
Charlo recently made my Mel Charlo recently made my Thunderous top 10 top number 1. Bud Crawford got kicked off of my Thunderous top 10 list totally, but Mel Charlo is number 1 on my Thunderous top 10. And so he earned that. He earned it in the ring.
Right. And so on your list, Devin Haney is in the top 5 or top?
Yeah, he's in the top 5.
Okay.
Devin Haney, I believe. Let me see what my Thunderous top 10. I can tell you exactly what it is.
Okay.
Right. Quick. Let me see here.
To this day.
Sorry about that. They got my Deontay Wilder soundbite all geared up, and I ain't even doing a show. Thunderous top 10. Let's see where it's at. My list. Okay, yeah, my Thunderous top 10. I have at number 10, I got Jesse Bam Rodriguez. At number 9, I got Stephen Fulton. At number 8, I got Shakur Stevenson. At number 7, I got Naoya Inoue. At number 6, I have Dimitri Bivol. At number 5, I got Gervonta Davis. At number 4, I have Artur Beterbiev. At number 3, I have Devin Haney. At number 2, I got Earl Spence. And at number 1, I have Jermell Charlo.
Yeah. I remember I see the first two. I see the fight with Castano, the first one, and I seen the second one. And it was, and I'm telling you, it was like, it reminds me when I watched Mel. It reminds me of hers a little bit. For me. Of the dedication to avenge, the way he had to switch it up. And I was like, wow. I'm gonna say this, that I was so proud because what you mentioned, what he had to overcome, and what he did to Castano, you gotta understand. He's a tough cookie. A lot of people don't understand that. Yep. Castano is tough.
He beat him down, man.
Yeah,
he beat him down.
And he beat him down. And I think what impressed me about that it was Mel understand his stamina. He had a lot of his tank, and Castano took some pressure, but he was like, okay. He kept on coming. But see, Castano was reaching, hope that Charles Bell was gassing out. He asked eventually was gassing out, and Mel was going to the body. He was switching things, switching, giving different looks on the defense, making to commit. And you notice that when I remember you was on your live, you were talking about Mel had to engage in the uppercut when he stick his chin out, he got to come with an uppercut, and he got to double with the body, double with the hooks to the body and stuff. When he lunge in, I remember you say that, and I say yeah, and that's what he would do. He would lunge in and he engaged in the body, and so when he knocked him out of the later round, it was about to come.
Mm-hmm.
It was about to come. Because Star was just he thought that no he's not the same Mel that you fought before. No, and there was a beautiful training of the trainer, and that really impressed me. I could say this year of Devin Haney and Mel Charles.
Yeah,
We had
two great
two
undisputed champions.
undisputed, and that's how many people could say that in this era. I could actually say that I actually watched two fighters that became undisputed.
And the only reason that Earl Spence is not undisputed is because Terrence Crawford won't fight him, and that's a whole nother sort of situation there. But I would like Earl to just do what's best for Earl. Don't worry about nobody else. Just do what's best for you. These other things will work themselves out. They always do.
They always do. Now, if anybody do not have any more questions, we're gonna close this out. It's been long enough. Let me see. I'm gonna post your channel in again. So people, so this I want you to go subscribe to my brother STORMYBMAN,
Yes, sir.
and this is channel right here. I want you to go subscribe to him. I'll put it in the chat. Do that and everything. Here it goes right there. I want to thank you so much that you took the time and talked to us. Chop it up with me on the Darkest Roundtable. You're always welcome back and everything. And as soon as we do the boxing thing, I'm definitely gonna hit you up because I'm looking forward to do collaborations of the ones that I handpicked. And we're gonna have collaborations. I'm gonna have collaborations, and also I'm gonna have going back to do some panels and stuff, talk about boxing. Now people gonna ask about Spencer Crawford. I'm not entertaining that. We already know what it is, but I think that we have to have a broader boxing talk now. I think that as Tony B man, as you know, people talking more. I ain't gonna say everybody, but most of the people is talking about the same thing. There is no refreshing of upcoming fighters, and I think that is very, very important. People ask, matter of fact, before we close out, people ask that, "What you think with Crawford? Who cares?"
Yeah. I'm of the firm belief that people shouldn't even talk about that guy because it's actually you're doing a disservice by entertaining anything to do with him at this particular time. I believe you get behind the people like I was talking about Regis Prograis a moment ago. Showed tremendous maturing in his, having had his setback against Taylor and coming back and winning this fight against a guy that is not easy to beat, and Jose Zepeda, a damn good fighter.
Right.
So, but I have an appreciation for guys who show growth and development. And Crawford hasn't shown me any growth or development. He's only shown me ego and a lot of BS. And I can't get with that. I can't co-sign to that. You know what I mean? And I said, I keep it real. There was a time when I supported him and felt like he might be capable of defeating Earl Spence in a fight, but that was many moons ago when it was first on the table of considering them fighting and things of that nature. But now it has been shown to me that that's not even, something that is really of interest to him, because if it were, you'd make it happen.
Exactly, and make it happen. Okay, again, this is the last of the chop up with Brother Story B Man. Thank y'all so much for coming. It's very much appreciated. Thanks for Story B Man again to give us the time to chop it up with me.
Yes,
Coco
sir.
Tina said, I think he's scared. He's talking about Crawford.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think
Absolutely.
you ask me, no, I ain't going to say it because it's derogatory, but I'm just saying that it started with a P, and that's all I'm going to say. But it's real sad that,
Yep.
that people still want to engage, and I'm like you, brother. I'm there. Please, oh, you copy what Soy B Man say? No. I say I have the same sentiment. I don't even want to talk about C. I call him C instead of I call him C. That's how I feel about him. C. You nothing but a C to me. Nothing but a third letter of the alphabet. That's what it is. But hey, y'all can talk about that. It's done with me. But we want to thanks again. Make time for us to be able to chop it up with us and everything. Very much appreciate. Last remarks, please, and I'll make my last remark. I'm gonna close it out.
Well, I just want to say thank you for having me on, inviting me. It's always a pleasure to chop it up with you. I appreciate you when you assist me with collaborating on Beats with Sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is something we talked about doing it for a while. We finally got it out here, and I've enjoyed every moment of it. This is who I am. I'm a very consistent guy. I'm like the rain. So and look forward to the next one. Salute to everybody that was out there tuning in to us and supporting us for the show. And don't forget to stay steadfast to the brother Underrated, because he's got some great things going on over here with his conversations. So we're a community, and we have a lot of different parts that make up the whole sum of things. And it is great to be a part of this. And I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
exactly. I want you to stay right there. Like that. I just want to thanks everybody in the chat with your questions and stuck it out and everything. Like again, Story B Man did a lot before that, and he said he was willing to come and do it. And I really appreciate everybody in the chat. Thanks for your support. We might do something tomorrow on family. We gotta do better. That I believe part 8. But if I'm gonna do it, that's gonna be like 10:35 tomorrow night. If I'm gonna do it, because I might I probably have to squeeze in certain things on the channel that I meant to squeeze in last month. So I'll have to squeeze those in. So I don't know. So but check it out then and everything. So in the near future, you will see Story Beam and Story Beam Man not just talk about it. He talks about us as a people to unite together, to encourage and stuff. And Story Beam had been on the panel a few times. So I just want to let people know he been on my panel a few times. And so I want you to support the brother. The link is in the chat and everything. And we could Beast with Sugar will come up soon. I don't know when. I gotta listen story Beamer will let me know. But we just did something Elton John. Y'all go check that out and everything. And that will be a part 2 in the near future. And so I want you to check it out too. And also he do boxing, he do other stuff. I want you to go check it out because we need more diversity, and we do, especially us as black women too. Yes, but black men, we need to be more diverse because we got to help now because we gotta help people. When you help people, you gotta be versed in other things. So we gotta learn. We cannot just reach out just certain ones. We gotta branch out, and that's the most important thing that I encourage for me and Stormy B, man. But good morning. Thank you so much. Excuse me. This is the last of the chop up. I'm my brother Stormy B, man. And just remember, stay on your purpose. Your purpose is your purpose. No matter what it is, you do count. Excuse me. And this is the last of it. of Stormy B, man. Chopper with the #1 grinder on a Darkest Round Table. This one is Ghost. Stay blessed. Stay blessed. Stay blessed. Good morning.